Life can knock you down, hard. You might be carrying the weight of mistakes, regrets, and missed chances. But here's the thing, that weight, it's not your fate. It's just a chapter, not the whole story. Today, we're turning the page. Think about the what-ifs and the if-onlys. We've all got them. The promotion that slipped through, the relationship that didn't work, the doors that closed when you hesitated. They stick with you, lingering like an old ghost. But here's the truth. They're not your identity. They're your lessons. Today, we're shifting your perspective. We're changing those so-called failures into lessons that propel you forward. And this isn't about feel-good ideas. This is about becoming the person you're meant to be. Why should you care? Because right now, you're holding on to baggage from the past, and it's time to let it go. Whether you're a teenager finding your path, or someone with decades of experience, this is your wake-up call. Are you ready to turn your scars into stepping stones? Ready to take control of your story? Then let's get into it. Let's be honest. The past? It's like quicksand. The more you struggle against it, the deeper you sink. Those moments, those mistakes, they loop in your mind like a broken record. How many times have you stopped yourself from moving forward because of a past setback? It's that voice that whispers, "Remember what happened last time?" It's paralyzing. And it's not all in your head. Science explains this as negativity bias. Our brains are wired to remember the bad things vividly. It's a survival mechanism from ancient times. But today, instead of helping you escape dangers, it's keeping you stuck in old fears. Imagine this. Every regret, every missed opportunity, it's like loading rocks into a backpack you carry every day. How heavy is that load now? How fast can you really move with all that weight holding you down? But here's something to think about. It's not just your progress being affected. It's your relationships, your work, your dreams. You're not showing up as the best version of yourself because you're stuck being your past self. And let's face it, it's comfortable. Staying in past failures gives you an excuse. I can't succeed because of what happened. It's an easy reason to not try, to not take risks. But is that backpack worth it? Are those stories from yesterday worth giving up your future for? Reframing the past. It's time for a reality check. The past only has as much power as you give it. You are the author of your own story. Right now, you're letting your past hold the pen. It's time to take it back. Your past isn't a trap. It's a lesson plan. Every mistake, every misstep. It's education. When you learned to walk, you fell over. When you learned to ride a bike, you crashed. That's part of the process. Let's take a cue from the Stoics, the ancient philosophers who understood this centuries ago. They believed it's not the event that affects you, but how you perceive it. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor of Rome, said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." So how do we flip the script? How do we turn the past from a weight into something that moves us forward? First, stop seeing yourself as a victim. You're not a punching bag for life's random events. You're someone learning and growing, and every challenge is an opportunity to become stronger. Second, get curious. When something doesn't go your way, ask yourself, what did I learn? That failed relationship? Maybe it showed you what truly matters to you. That job loss? Perhaps it revealed what you're passionate about. Third, practice gratitude. Not in a surface-level way, but in a real, reflective way. What if every difficult moment was actually setting you up for something better? That breakup? It might have cleared space for the right person. That career setback? Maybe it pushed you to chase a dream you've ignored. Here's an exercise. Take your biggest regret and find 3 ways it made you stronger or wiser. You just turned pain into something meaningful. Your past doesn't define you, it guides you. You're not erasing it, you're reshaping it. Learning from setbacks. Let's get straight to it. Failure is your greatest teacher. It's not about falling behind. It's about learning how to move forward. Think about your last failure. That sting of disappointment, the doubt, the frustration. What if you could take that energy and use it to push yourself further? Epictetus, born a slave and later a Stoic teacher, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters. Your failure doesn't define you, your response does." Let's look at some real-world examples. Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, failed 1,000 times before finding the right filament. He famously said, "I haven't failed. I've just found 1,000 ways that don't work." That's the mindset of growth. Or J.K. Rowling, before Harry Potter became a worldwide phenomenon, she was a struggling single mom. Her manuscript was rejected by 12 publishers before one said yes. Now, she's a symbol of persistence. Success isn't a straight path. It's a series of falls and comebacks. The people we admire the most are the ones who faced setbacks, learned from them, and kept going. So, next time you stumble, recognize it as part of the process. You've just discovered one more way that doesn't work, bringing you closer to the solution. Remember, the most experienced people have failed more times than those just starting out. Every mark left behind is proof that you're moving forward. The power of the present. Let's talk about where your true strength lies. It's not in the past, and it's not in the future. It's in the present moment. How often do you find yourself stuck replaying old mistakes or worrying about what's ahead? The truth is, the past is done, and the future isn't here yet. The only thing you have any control over is right now. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have control over your mind, not external events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The key is to understand that the present is your opportunity. This is where you can act, change, and move forward. Think about a time when you were so focused on a task or moment that everything else faded away. Maybe it was during a conversation, a game, or a project. That's when you were completely present, when time almost disappeared. That's the sweet spot where real progress happens. I'm not telling you to forget your past or stop planning for the future, but don't let them take away your present. The past doesn't need you anymore, and the future isn't here yet. This moment, right now, is where your power lies. Here's something you can try. For the next 24 hours, whenever your mind drifts to the past or the future, bring it back to now. Notice the details around you, what you see, what you hear. Ask yourself, what can I do right now to move forward? It's a simple practice, but it's powerful. Epictetus once said, "A wise person doesn't mourn what they don't have. They rejoice in what they do have." So, are you fully appreciating what's right in front of you? Or are you too busy stuck in yesterday or worrying about tomorrow? Think of it like driving. The windshield is big, but the rearview mirror is small. That's because what's ahead of you is much more important than what's behind. Life should be the same way. Focusing on the present isn't just some advice. It's the foundation of taking control of your life. You can't change the past, and you can't predict the future. But right now, you have the power to choose and act. So here's what I want you to do. Next time you catch yourself dwelling on the past or getting anxious about the future, take a deep breath and ground yourself. Look around, feel your feet on the ground, and ask yourself, what can I do right now? This is where your power lies, right here, right now. Breaking the chains of expectations. Your life isn't meant to be a script written by others. It's your story to tell. Society, family, and friends all have expectations, but those are their limits, not yours. Lao Tzu, the ancient Chinese philosopher, once said, "Care about what other people think, and you will always be their prisoner." Every time you live up to someone else's expectations, you're building a cage of their design. Think about it. How many times have you stopped yourself because people like me don't do that? How often have you kept your dreams quiet because they didn't fit the mold someone else made for you? Here's the truth. The world doesn't need another copy. It needs the real, unfiltered you. Miyamoto Musashi, a legendary swordsman, said, "Do not fear death. Fear instead never beginning to live." Are you truly living if you're constantly trying to meet others' expectations? Challenge every should in your life. Question every supposed to. Are these your dreams, or are they someone else's? Remember, the easy path, the one where you follow everyone's rules, often leads to quiet frustration. But the path where you follow your passion, that's where real fulfillment is, even if it means disappointing a few people along the way. Here's something practical. Write down all the expectations others have placed on you. Now cross out the ones that don't align with who you really are. Feel the relief? That's the weight lifting off your shoulders. Buddha said, "The mind is everything. What you think, you become." So, ask yourself, who do you want to be? Someone living for others, or the architect of your own life? The limits others put on you don't define your potential. It's your courage to follow your own path that sets you free. So, are you ready to break the mold? Are you ready to let go of the expectations that are holding you back and start becoming the person you're meant to be? Because at the end of the day, you won't regret the expectations you didn't meet. You'll regret the life you didn't live, shaping your future. Your future isn't a distant point you reach by accident. It's something you build, one step at a time. Your past, it's raw material. You're the craftsman, and right now is when you shape it. Let's get something straight. Your future isn't set in stone. Your past mistakes or current circumstances don't dictate it. What really matters are your choices, your actions, and your mindset. Seneca said, "It's not because things are difficult that we dare not venture. It's because we dare not venture that things are difficult." Think about that. How often do you hold back because you think you're not ready? Because you're afraid of failing again? The truth is, you'll never be perfectly prepared. The right moment doesn't exist. Your future is created by the steps you take today, the effort you put in, and the progress you make. Imagine this. You're at the base of a mountain. Behind you is the valley of your past, and ahead is the peak of your future. Are you going to stand there staring at the summit? Or are you going to start climbing one step at a time? Your future isn't something that happens to you. It's something you make happen. Where do you want to be in 5 years? Picture it. Now, here's the big question. What are you doing today to make that a reality? Your present actions build your future self. Every big achievement starts with a small step. The Great Wall of China began with a single brick. Your transformation starts with a single decision. Today. The truth is, your past doesn't have to define your future unless you allow it. You're not a tree. You're not stuck. You have the power to move, grow, and change. Epictetus said, "First, say to yourself what you would be. Then do what you have to do." It's not enough to dream. You need to take action to turn that vision into reality. Here's a simple action plan. Write down your vision for your future. Now, list 3 things you can do this week to move closer to that vision. Not next month, not next year, this week. Your future is built today. Every choice and every action you take adds to the story of your life. So will you keep repeating the past, or are you ready to create something new? Your past brought you here, but it doesn't decide where you go next. That power lies with you right now. So, are you ready to move forward? Are you ready to build your future, one step at a time, turning pain into strength? That pain you're carrying, it's not a burden, it's potential energy. Every setback, every hardship, every moment that brought you down, it's all power waiting to be tapped into. Nietzsche said, "What doesn't kill us makes us stronger." But let's take it further. It doesn't just make you stronger, it makes you unstoppable. Every difficulty you've faced has given you something. The ability to adapt, to be resourceful, to keep pushing forward. These are tools you've gained through your experiences. The most influential people aren't the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who turned hardship into lessons and growth, using their struggles to pave the way for others. So here's what I want you to do. Think of the biggest pain point in your life, the thing that keeps you awake at night. Ask yourself, how can I use this? How can I turn this experience into something valuable for myself and for others? That failed business you had? It could become the wisdom you share to help others succeed. That heartbreak? It might be the inspiration behind a piece of art or writing that moves others deeply. Your lowest point could become the turning point for someone else's journey. This isn't about pretending everything is fine. It's about acknowledging your pain, learning from it, and using it as fuel for growth. Remember, a diamond is created under pressure. Your challenges are what shape you. So ask yourself again, are you ready to stop being a prisoner of your circumstances and start becoming the one who transforms them? Are you prepared to take the hardships you've faced and turn them into something powerful, not just for you, but for others? Practical steps to move forward. It's time to put ideas into action, because knowing what to do is one thing. Doing it is what really makes a difference. It's like having a car without fuel. It might look good, but it won't get you anywhere. Start with self-reflection. Each night before bed, ask yourself, what did I learn today? How did I grow? What can I work on tomorrow? This isn't just about writing in a journal. It's about rewiring your brain to focus on growth rather than regret. Epictetus said, "A wise person does not mourn what they lack, but celebrates what they have." Practice gratitude. Every morning, write down 3 things you're thankful for, no matter how big or small. This simple act shifts your mindset to notice the good, instead of fixating on the negative. Next, pay attention to how you talk to yourself. When you catch yourself saying things like, "I always mess up," or "I'll never be good enough," challenge those thoughts. Replace them with, "I'm learning," or "I'm getting better every day." The words you use shape your reality. Choose wisely. Here's an exercise for you. Create a failure resume. Write down your biggest mistakes and the lessons you took from each. This isn't about dwelling on the past. It's a way to celebrate your resilience and see proof that you've overcome obstacles before and can do it again. Practicing mindfulness for 10 minutes a day helps you stay present and focus on what you can control. Start with simple breathing exercises to ground yourself, keeping you anchored in the now. Now let's talk about setting goals. Don't just think big. Break them down. Want to run a marathon? Start with shorter distances. Want to write a book? Begin with 1 page a day. Break your dreams into manageable steps so you can build momentum. Here's a challenge. Each day, do one thing that scares you, even if it's small. Whether it's speaking up, trying a new skill, or stepping out of your routine, this builds courage and shows you that discomfort isn't something to run from. It's a chance to grow. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Take a few minutes each day to visualize your success. Picture yourself overcoming challenges, reaching your goals, and becoming the person you want to be. Your mind can't always tell the difference between imagination and reality, so use that to your advantage. Finally, surround yourself with people who encourage growth. Seek out mentors, join communities, read books by those who have overcome similar challenges. Your environment influences you, so make sure it's one that inspires and motivates you. I know this might seem like a lot of effort, and it is. But ask yourself, is the life you want worth the work? Are you willing to invest in becoming the person you're capable of being? Remember, everyone who's successful started as a beginner. The difference is they didn't let their past define them. They used it as a building block for their future. So, which of these steps are you going to start with today? Which one speaks to you the most? Because the best time to take action was yesterday, and the second best time is right now. Your future self is counting on you. What kind of story will you write? Overcoming challenges. This journey isn't going to be smooth. You'll face obstacles, moments of doubt, and old habits that try to pull you back. But here's the reality. The obstacle is the way. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action." What stands in the way becomes the way. Think about that. Every challenge you face isn't just something blocking your path. It's a chance to prove your strength, sharpen your skills, and grow. The first challenge? The voice in your head. The one that says, "You're not good enough," or "You'll never change." How do you fight it? With action. Take steps every day that prove it wrong. Remember, you are not your thoughts. You're the one who decides which thoughts to listen to. Next, let's address the comfort zone. It feels safe, but nothing grows there. Seneca reminded us, it's not because things are difficult that we dare not venture. It's because we dare not venture that things are difficult. So, step into discomfort. That's where true growth happens. You'll face setbacks, and there will be days where it feels like you're back to square one. But remember, setbacks are setups for comebacks. Each time you stumble, you learn how to stand stronger. It's not about avoiding failure. It's about learning how to rise every time. Some people around you might not understand your journey. They might try to pull you back into your old ways. Epictetus advised, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Their opinion doesn't define you. Your growth is your responsibility. There will be days when motivation is nowhere to be found, and that's when discipline comes in. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is steady. Build habits that move you toward your goals, even on the days you don't feel like it. Imposter syndrome might show up, making you doubt your progress. But think of it as a sign that you're pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone. Aristotle once said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act but a habit. Keep showing up, keep doing the work, and you'll become the person you aspire to be. One of the hardest challenges? Patience. In a world where we want instant results, real change takes time. But ask yourself, where will you be in a year if you keep pushing forward? And where will you be if you give up now? Here's a powerful practice. Visualize your future self thanking you for not giving up. Imagine the relief and pride you'll feel. Use that feeling to keep moving. Remember, every great journey has obstacles. The struggle is what makes the story worth telling. Your challenges aren't holding you back. They're shaping you into who you need to be. So what's the biggest challenge standing in your way right now? Name it, face it, and remember, the greater the challenge, the greater the triumph. Call to action. The past is something you can reference, but it's not where you're meant to stay. The question isn't who said this first. It's whether you're ready to live it. Are you prepared to stop being defined by your past and start being the author of your future? Look around. See that person pushing themselves through their workout at the gym, even when it's tough. They're not just building physical strength, they're building resilience. The person giving a presentation despite feeling nervous. They're not just delivering information, they're facing their fear. These are everyday examples of people stepping up to their challenges. They aren't philosophers from centuries ago. They're people like you, facing life's struggles and pushing forward. Take Admiral James Stockdale, who survived as a prisoner of war for over 7 years. He credited Stoic philosophy for his resilience, saying, "I never lost faith in the end of the story. I never doubted that I would get out, but also that I would turn the experience into the defining event of my life." These aren't superheroes. They're people who made a choice to take control of their story. So here's my challenge to you. Start today. Pick one thing, just one, that you've been avoiding out of fear or past setbacks, and take action. Remember, courage isn't the absence of fear. It's taking action despite fear. Write this down and put it where you'll see it daily. You have control over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Your past doesn't determine your future unless you let it. Your future is shaped by the choices you make today. So, what's it going to be? Will you keep letting your past write your story, or are you ready to become the author of your own life? The choice is yours. The time is now. Your future self is watching. Make them proud. Now go out there and show the world what you're made of. Because remember, you have the power to create change. You are the change. Let's make it happen.